Wii Sports is a revolutionary game. It changed the way games were played, but there are early versions of it no one really knows about. So in this video, I'll go over some Beta Wii Sports versions. I'll start by going over the development. Wii Sports was originally part of a PAC project, which was prototype software that was made to test the capabilities of the Wii Remote for the Nintendo Revolution. The original name for the Wii was the Nintendo Revolution, which sounds cool. The software was separated into two categories: family-oriented games, which became Wii Play, and sports games, which became Wii Sports. The metadata for the game still refers to it as Sports Pack for Revolution. It wasn't until E3 2006 that tech demos for Wii Sports were shown off, along with tech demos for other Wii games. There were 4 tech demos for Wii Sports shown off at E3 2006, and Beta Wii Sports versions shown off after. Good thing there's footage of it that was recorded from back then. The tech demos have never been found, making them lost media. The first one is Airplane. You control it by rotating and moving your Wii Remote across the screen. You fly through rings that are in the air. You boost the same way you do in Wii Sports Resort, by moving your remote forward fast. There are also seagulls that try to follow the plane. This takes place on a very early version of Woohoo Island, or Wii Fit Island. It was called Wii Fit Island in the first Wii Fit. After enough time passes, a time bar appears telling you how much time you have left. Anyways, tennis has a slightly different design compared to the final version. The tennis ball is yellow and blue. There is no audience, and the win and lose screen is a lot more simple. It's still in the final version, just unused. The Miis have a different design. They have 3D noses and 3D ears, which look weird. The announcer is different compared to the final. That's one of the main differences between the beta version and the final version. There's another version of this that has 4 players instead of 2. The select sound when starting is from Wii Play. Baseball is just hitting home runs. There's no music, and the design is slightly different. The music for the baseball results screen is still in the files for the final version, but there's not any for the other sports, unless the audio hasn't been found in the files yet. There's another version that zooms in when you get a home run, and doesn't zoom back out. There are also logos for teams on the screen. There's a picture of an early version that shows a unique screen for transitioning to pitching and batting. Bowling is really similar. The main difference I noticed is that the pin setter says Wii instead of Wii Sports. Golf is just hitting the green. It has a different ball used to show how hard you hit the ball. It's on the bottom instead of on the side. The ball is also on a tee instead of just on the ground. The final sport shown is boxing. This version actually appears in some trailers for the Wii. The UI is slightly different. The health is shown on a bar instead of a circle. The clock and round number is on an isosceles trapezoid. If you miss punches, your gloves turn black, similar to Punch-Out. The features in the final game, just unused. The screen in the footage is the exact same as the one that showed the Beta Wii Channels. One thing I noticed is that there are many different early versions of Wii Sports. There's also a realistic strap warning screen when starting up instead of the cartoon-like design of the final. The games shown at E3 were actually being played on a TDEV. TDEV units are pretty much GameCubes, but with twice the RAM. It was originally intended for them to use prototype Wiis to show off the games, but TDEV units were planned as a backup, just in case they couldn't manufacture the hardware for the Wii in time. They ended up having to use the backup plan. There are even images from E3 2006 that kinda show the TDEV units. You can kinda see them in the images. The TDEV, or a Tiny Development Kit, is pretty different from the final Wii dev kits. The final version looks like a regular Wii, but colored green. The Wii never had an official green version you could get. The Wii U also used green for dev kits. The green dev kits were able to play burn disc, so testing games would be much easier. They were also made a couple months before the Wii was released in 2006. There's a lot of different Wii dev kits. Comment if you want me to go over them in another video, since there's a lot of them. One thing interesting is that TDEV units have Nintendo Revolution System Menu version 0.1 on them, the first Wii menu version. The menu actually has a line of code that lets it launch a DVD player from an SD card. The DVD player has never been found though. The hardware is capable of reading DVDs. There's just no software to read them, unless you use Homebrew. The Wii did have a TV remote feature, but it was only released in Japan for TV no Tomo G Guide for Wii or the Television Friend channel. There was an interview where I was asked if Wii Sports would have online connectivity. A developer said a leaderboard was being considered for the game. It never made it into the final version, unfortunately. It was also said that they weren't sure if the airplane demo shown off would be included, but it was said that it was their current goal. Some stuff got scrapped since multiple games were being worked on at the same time by the same team. Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Fit, and Wii Music were all being worked on at the same time. That isn't all the tech demos though. There were also some tech demos that were shown off behind closed doors. These tech demos were only shown to a select few people. There is no footage and it's lost media. The only information about it is from 2005 and 2006. It was talked about in articles from back then and internet forums. There's also not a lot of information about the Wii from 2005 since Nintendo didn't want another company to steal the idea. Anyways, the tech demos appeared behind closed doors at Tokyo Game Show 2005. They were shown off again later that year. 8 demos were shown off. One of them had you fly an airplane around the Fino Isle from Super Mario Sunshine. This is probably an early version of Airplane. That's all the tech demos that were related to Wii Sports. There was also a basketball, air hockey, and fishing demo. These are similar to the versions released in Wii Play. There's no footage to tell what the controls were for some of the tech demos. I do know that basketball is different than the version released in Wii Sports Resort. Leave a comment if you want me to make a video going over Wii tech demos. With that said, on to some fun facts about Wii Sports. Wii Sports came with all Wiis sold at launch except in Japan. In Japan you had to buy the game separately. Wii Sports was almost not a pack-in title for the Wii. Reggie had to convince Miyamoto to let Wii Sports be bundled in. It was also suggested that Wii Play could be bundled in with a Wii Remote. The Japan version of Wii Sports is one of the only versions that has a regular case instead of a cardboard sleeve. The box art and disc are also different. The NTSCU and PAL version did get a regular case, but it was a part of Nintendo Selects, and has the branding on the case. When playing tennis you can do a power serve by hitting the ball when it's at its highest point. If you hold B when starting tennis, you get a blue tennis court. If you twist the Wii Remote while hitting the ball, you can curve it. It's just hard to do. When playing baseball, pressing a direction on the D-pad changes your pitch. If you hold 2 down, you can do a underhand pitch, which can make it easier to win. After your opponent does a couple pitches, they begin to sweat and have an exclamation point over their head. This lets you get a really good hit. You can get a home run easily and even an out of the park. When playing bowling, before starting, if you hold a direction on the D-pad, you can change the color of the bowling ball. Up is a blue ball, right is a gold ball, left is a red ball, and down is a green ball. You get a bowling ball with stars on it when you reach pro rank. If you throw your bowling ball into another lane, the crowd will laugh. If you throw the ball backwards, the crowd will jump and do a spin. When playing power throws, you can throw the ball on the rail to the side. If it goes all the way to the back, the ball will hit a red spear. You then hear a click and an explosion, and all the pins fall down, giving you a strike. If you hold down 2 when starting golf, the HUD will be disabled. If you beat Matt, you can hold down 1 when starting boxing to wear silver boxing gloves. Also, the higher your skill level, the more Miis come to watch your matches. When playing the training mode for boxing, there are pictures on the wall that show Matt's backstory. It shows him with hair and shows news articles of him winning multiple matches. You probably wouldn't have noticed it was on the wall or even seen it since the camera barely points to the picture. It's cool that it's there though. There's also a scale next to it, but you can't see it normally. There are also some obscure facts about Wii Sports. Dodging balls actually has an unused feature. There's code for different types of balls to be thrown at you. There's 6 types: a tennis ball, baseball, golf ball, ping pong ball, and billiards ball. It's only for a single ball type. It doesn't cycle through them. The energy feature from the beta boxing version is still in the final version, just disabled. When enabled, each boxer gets an energy value that decreases every punch you miss or get blocked. The gloves turn black as your energy gets lower. If you dodge or land a punch, your energy value goes up, and your gloves get their color back. If your punch gets blocked while you have no energy, you get stunned. You can't punch and you can only dodge. The camera also zooms out and doesn't move. When the CPU gets stunned, the camera goes into first person. This is one of the only times you control your Mii in first person. You can't regenerate energy once stunned though. I'm unsure if that's just because the feature isn't finished yet. Your energy refills after getting knocked down or going to the next round. The E3 version was a bit different, showing an exclamation point over the person's stun instead of a yellow flash. The knockdown animation is also different. Mii slowly falls face first on the floor. I prefer the final where they kinda ragdoll after getting punched. At Nintendo's E3 2006 press conference, tennis was shown off. Early Miis are shown and also a solid blue character wearing a crown. It was probably just there as a placeholder. Tennis was probably the first game made for Wii Sports, going by the very early pictures. The build date for Wii Sports 1.0 NTSC-U is October 7th, 2006, 12 days before the release of the Wii. One thing interesting is that there was possibly another scrapped sport. There was a picture found that shows a Mii wearing a jetpack. It's also on an early version of Wuhu Island. The jetpack is made of a Wii Remote and nunchuck. Outside of this image, a playable version has never been found. The only thing found about it is this single image. It kinda made it into Pilot Wings Resort on the 3DS, with you being able to use a rocket boat, which is just like a jetpack. It also takes place on Wuhu Island. There are also early pictures of bowling showing a mock-up of what it would have looked like, similar to the early Wii Shop channel. The first image shows an option for an individual match and team match. Maybe team match was scrapped during development. The final image shows Mii's Mario and Peach. There was a development photo shown of a really early version of tennis that has Mario as the character. The developers wanted a more realistic aesthetic for the game and used Mii's instead. The castle from New Super Mario Bros. DS appears in Golf Hole 5 Out of Bounds. There's a texture for it that's unused that's a higher quality than the one used on the DS. This makes me wonder if there are higher quality textures for New Super Mario Bros. There's also another picture of tennis that has different characters shown instead of Mario. I'm not sure what they are though. The Miis were originally from an avatar customization game being developed for the DS called Otana no Una Yuwana Teko, or Dot Woman Fortune Telling Notebook in English. The game later became Tamagotchi Collection. This next one is really obscure. If you use the Mii channel from RC1 Wii menu, then go on Wii Sports, you get a unique error. It says check Mii channel data. After that you have to go to the Mii channel and format your Mii channel data. I wonder if the early version of Wii Sports shown in the trailers was able to work with the early Mii channel. There was also a development disc called Mii Support Disc with the Wii Sports logo on it. It's unknown if it's related to this message, since the disc couldn't be read, due to it having a big scratch on the back of the disc. There are multiple versions of Wii Sports that have been released. There's a total of 3 different versions. There's 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2. 1.0 came with the Wii sold at launch. 1.1 came bundled in with most Wiis bought after 2006. 1.2 is on the Wii Sports plus Wii Sports Resort version. The main difference between the first two is that the Wii Remotes don't have a silicone jacket. This is because Nintendo didn't start including the silicone jacket until October 15th, 2007. They had to release the silicone jacket since Wii Remotes kept getting thrown at TVs and breaking them. You can find videos online of it. Also, the wrist strap had to get made differently since the original wrist strap broke easily. 1.1 is from July 5th, 2007. 1.1 has the Wii Remote play more sounds and cutscenes compared to 1.0. By 1.0 is used for speedrunning. There was a scene added to the style of baseball, and there was a replay cutscene added to boxing. Also, when you get out in baseball, the ball is thrown back to base, which makes the game slightly longer. There's also a glitch in golf that works differently between both versions. If you disconnect your remote and reconnect it before your shot ends, you can hit the ball again, which allows you to navigate out of bounds. There is also more lag in 1.0 for the training mode for boxing. 1.0 has a metadata table that shows scenes that were removed. It references Wii Play, Wii Fit, and Wii Music. That means these games were all in development around the same time. There's a version for Japan with more entries, but I'm not sure what's on it. 1.2 doesn't have many differences. I'm not sure, but I feel like the boxing controls are better, but I'm not sure. The copyright date says 2006 to 2008. The build date for it is June 7, 2010. One thing interesting is that the EU build date is from 4 minutes later. There was a lot of stuff I went over. I had fun making the video. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment saying what your favorite Wii series game is. Goodbye and have a cool day.